Said is dead. When children write stories, they're often told that said is dead. So they start hunting around and using fancier dialogue tags such as I muttered, or I bellowed, or I screamed. But what you've got to remember is authors tend to use the word I said because I said disappears. And what authors do is rather than labeling, so telling the emotion, such as I bellowed, where somebody's screaming, or I screamed, or I muttered, you're labeling the way something was done, which is telling. What children can do is they can show character much more through what the character is actually saying rather than being told how they said it. So what do I mean by this? Here's a typical line that a child might write for the 11 plus, as in speech and then some explanation after. Leave my bag alone, I bellowed furiously, my face burning. You might think, well, that's absolutely great, but I bellowed furiously is telling the reader how the person spoke. Whereas you could write a line like this and the reader can infer the character and feel much more emotion just from what they say. And this is how authors tend to write. Leave my bag alone. Touch it again and I'll scream the place down. So that's dialogue, one line, no dialogue tags at all, but we can infer that person's character just from what they said and how they said it, so the words they chose. So we don't need a dialogue tag at all. We're sort of learning that that person is going to scream if their bag is touched. So just think about telling, because if you use dialogue tags like I bellowed or I muttered, you're telling the reader what your character did rather than showing it through what they say. Here's another example. I don't really mind, I muttered sadly, tears rolling down my face. So I muttered sadly there is telling. You're telling your reader how you said something and how you felt. Whereas you could switch the dialogue tag, you could get rid of the dialogue tag and make the writing stronger by having your character say something like this. It's fine. You never really pick me anyway. That shows sadness. It shows disappointment just in what the character is saying. Don't feel you can't use those kind of fancier dialogue tags at all throughout your writing. You could maybe use one or two, but remember when you're doing that, you're telling, and you could actually show your character through what they say and how they say it without using specific dialogue tags. And it's what authors tend to do.